Well, hello and welcome to the Fish Nerds Podcast, a show about fish, fishing, and eating fish. I'm Clay Groves, Chief Executive Fish Nerd of the podcast, and I'm here to say this week the Fish Nerds are taking the week off. We didn't mean to. We produced some content and didn't have time to mix it all down. When I say we, I say me. I am it today. But I do want to give you this vintage Fish Nerds episode, hand-picked from our curation, our Fish Nerds library. This is not currently available anywhere else on the internet, so we thought you might enjoy it. And a quick promo, if you want to get in on the fishing trip, we are giving away a deep-sea fishing trip with MaineTunaFishing.com. That'll be in early August, a trip for two. You can go to the Fish Nerds Facebook group and look for the pinned post there. There will be a link to click on a Google form. You fill it out, and you will be entered into the contest. This is a fishing trip with MaineTunaFishing.com and the Fish Nerds, and super easy to enter it. There's an option on there to click a yes button that you're willing to throw $10 into the pot to help cover the cost. If you do that, you will be entered 3 times, and that will triple your chances. See, 3, that's right there. That will triple your chances of winning the trip. So we'll throw your name in the hat 3 times, and maybe you will win a trip for 2 to fish with the Fish Nerds and Captain Sean Tibbetts, the grumpiest sailor on the sea, at MaineTunaFishing.com. So check it out. But we will be back next week with a brand new show talking all about fishing in Lake Ossipee. We're going to talk about the impacts of water temperature and bass. And maybe Hugo will be back to cook us some more crazy food. So lots of fun coming up. Stay tuned until next week. Enjoy this vintage Fish Nerds with Dave and Clay, the original Fish Nerds from a few years ago. Thank you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
May I have your attention, please?
Hello and welcome.
And now, on with the show.
Welcome to the Fish Nerds Podcast. It's the latest about fish, fishing, and eating fish. I'm Dave.
And I'm Clay. Together we talk about fishy stuff that's happened to us, people we know, and other fish nerds we've seen. Anything is fair game, and it's a good bet that I'm a little shaken from swimming with my waders on today. Can't even talk.
They call them waders for a reason, Anyway,
they're terrible for swimming.
Go figure. We have bucketfuls of things to talk about today. We're going to discuss our newest Fish Nerd ally, our colleague, our
Fish Nerd hero.
Fish Nerd hero, exactly. Many words for Nick Hudson, who is Nick Hudson Swagger, who is volunteering sound engineering work. Awesome,
really great. And if you've been following us all along,
which I have,
you have, you're the only one. Wow, thanks for sticking it out. But if you haven't, go back and listen to the first one, and then listen to, say, this one, which you probably are listening to anyway, and compare them, and then you'll be impressed. Got nothing.
So yes, we have improved. We've evolved. We have the ability to learn. So that's awesome. So Nick, hello, and thanks, and welcome aboard, and all those things.
Thank you.
Fish nerds, man, taking care of each other. It's awesome.
You have to. He's an audio nerd, but
audio nerd, right?
But he does fish. I've been with him a few times. So.
And then, so for the rest of the podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about Stump the Fish Nerds. Clay,
I love Stump the Fish Nerds. Love it.
Clay has an experiment in guide service. And then we'll talk about our first ever sponsor.
Wow. We're going to be
real
so
sponsor.
rich.
This one isn't made up.
We're going to make so much money.
So we'll talk about our very first sponsor, the last day of salmon fishing. And Clay promptly went out and did not catch a salmon, but he has a good story.
I tried so hard.
Clay cooking Roadkill pizza. We have a Kickstarter program that's going to be moving along very soon.
Hope so.
Kickstarter. And then there's a live Fish Nerds event.
Wait, you can see Fish Nerds live?
Yes, it's true. You're can.
Kidding.
No, not dead or nothing. Fish in the news. We got a couple of good news items.
Always good news.
And always good news. And then we'll do, of course, the recap of Fish Nerd Nation. So
There's a lot to talk about.
there is a lot to talk about.
And it's a Friday night. We never record on a Friday night, so...
We don't because and the reason is because Sunday night it is a busy time as my daughter gets ready for her week in high school.
She's a teenager. That's insane.
Isn't that though? And we're driving now, which I really like New Hampshire because you don't have to go out and get a learner's permit.
You just drive?
You just drive with a parent, drive with somebody who's got a license.
Wow.
So
live free or die.
But at least it's at the hands of family.
Oh, yeah, if you're gonna... Never mind. It's a bad conversation.
But we're gonna avoid that whole dying thing.
Bad.
But anyway, it's New Hampshire cutting through that red tape. Gotta love it.
Good.
But this is a Fish Nerds podcast, so let's talk about fish.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So the last, I'm gonna jump around here, but you took some women fishing.
I did. This summer, the Conway, New Hampshire Public Library was doing a big fundraiser, and they asked the Fish Nerds to make a donation. Well, they asked...
Oh, my God. They must have made $1 million.
They must have. They asked us for our book. They said, could you donate one of your copies of your book that's autographed for our silent auction? And I said, no. Because...
Well, we are the perfect book for a silent auction because it's a silent
That'll be our
book.
audio book that they asked for. So I said no, but what I can do is give you a couple of catch-em-all hats, and I could take 2 people fishing for 2 hours. So fishing with a fish nerd was the prize, and apparently it was really popular.
Oh, hey,
yeah,
good.
They won't tell me how popular, but they told me it was really popular.
Wait, so you don't know how much they actually pledged to go fishing?
No, but I put an imaginary value on it so they could put it on the card. So I valued it at $250. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so who knows what it's worth?
Very good.
Probably was worth a lot less than that.
Well, it's worth whatever you put on it.
It
so,
is.
There you go.
So the woman who won it, her name was Elena. And her daughter was Megan, and it was Megan's birthday. They thought they'd go fishing, and they wanted to go bass fishing. And I thought, wow, the only thing easier than that is trout fishing. So let's go. How hard could it be?
Wait, where did you go?
We went to Conway Lake, and I had a plan. We were gonna go for smallmouth bass. I had the right gear. I had crayfish and minnows, and I had sluggos and all kinds of great lures. I had nets, everything we needed, fishing rods, ready to go. I was so excited. Put the boat in the water. The ladies get in the boat. I climb in the back. I'm bragging about all the big fish we're going to catch. I'm feeling the pressure. And I start pulling on that string on the outboard motor. And I start trying really hard not to cuss or anything. Because, I don't know what they paid to come out with me, but something.
Something happened, yes.
So, nothing. I couldn't make the motor go.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it made me sad. And so I'm trying to be super cool. I'm like, hey, no big deal. Bass live everywhere. So I had the trolling motor. I hooked that up. And so we're cruising out really slow through a no-wake zone as fast as the boat will go.
Which I love because normally when you look at the bass fishing tournaments, they have these 16-foot boats with 250 horsepower engines on them.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding.
And when they go bass fishing, it's like, and I could just see you, all right, let's go.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Remind me after this too. I want to tell the bass tournament story too. I forgot about it.
Oh yeah, okay, bass tournament story.
Yeah. So we go out fishing and I'm feeling terrible because I know if I had that motor working, I would have put them on a bunch of big smallmouth bass. I would have put a shiner under a bobber, floated that shiner over the heads of these fish, and they would have caught 4 or 5 nice fish. And they would have gone, wow, these fish nerds are terrific.
Yeah.
Yes, but instead, I'm scouting new waters with a trolling motor because I can't get to the spot, and it's embarrassing. So,
Did you try to explain that you're sneaking up on them? Was that the whole purpose?
I just made fun of myself. You know how I do it the whole time. Luckily, they had a good sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the mother, Elena, you know, she was just excited to go out, and Megan seemed to be having a good time. But we weren't catching any fish, and I've never guided, you know, and I can't attest to what it's like every time, but I can imagine the pressure to put people on fish. Like, I'm just like, I want them to catch fish, and I wasn't having as much fun as I could have had. We motor out to where it looks like a good weed bed. I've never fished the spot before. We start throwing sluggos. They're throwing them across each other. They're hitting each other with them. So I decided that's bad. It's not going to work. And remember, I'm not in a bass boat. I'm in a 12-foot aluminum boat with a trolling motor on it with two people with high expectations and a just.
And a broken
motor. You know, just dragging this heavy motor through the water. So eventually, Elena caught a pickerel. She hooked into a pickerel with live minnow. I know, I was so happy. Things jumping out of the water. She can't reel it in because she doesn't know how to use the reel. It's not her fault. She hasn't practiced, and you take it for granted how easy fishing is.
Yeah.
But if you've never cranked the reel, if you don't hold the rod right, it kind of can be a funny motion. Imagine holding the rod at the very, very base of it, and then trying to crank the reel in. The whole rod kind of moves with the reel. That's what she was.
Yeah, there's really no other sort of common human activity that, you know, I suppose holding a kid's head and trying to ream out their ear with a cotton swab would be the closest.
You've done it wrong for a long time. It just sounds terrible. But I can't wait till I give my kid a bath tomorrow. I'm going to try it. Come here, kid.
It's just like it.
Oh, it's bad. Anyway, she got the fish. We got our requisite fish pictures, and I called it a day. And I just apologized like crazy. I said, look, call me in January. I'll take you ice fishing, and you can hang out with me for 2 more hours of not catching fish. It'll be great. So hopefully they call me in January and I'll take them out fishing again. But man, it's so embarrassing. It's just terrible.
I like the idea of you becoming a professional guide.
I like the idea too, but man, it makes me nervous.
Well, and then you just have this long series of rain checks. So like after 2 or 3 years, there's just hundreds of people.
I'm just fishing for free from now on. And,
Not really. Come back out. We'll fish again for free.
I promise. I'll learn how to do it. It was so hard. But then the next day I put the boat. I took the boat out of the water and I put the motor in a barrel. I filled it with water and pulled the string and it worked fine.
No,
worked just fine. You know, then you went out with me, so it was great. But then we went back to the lake the next day with my kids, and we were fishing at the beach, and 6 giant bass boats pulled in.
Wait, which lake?
Conway Lake, same place.
Oh, okay.
6 giant bass boats pulled all into the beach, parked right at the beach. They have these like 14-foot boats with 200 horsepower motors on the back of them. These just beastly motors. I'm like, wow, the lake's not that big. Why would you have to go that fast? But I don't understand it. So, and bass fishermen are like the football players of the fishing world. You know, these guys are. If there's a such thing as a jock, it's tournament bass fishermen.
Yeah, they're fish jocks.
They really are, but you know they're good at it. And these guys were called. I think they called the Northern New England bronzebacks or something like that.
Oh, by the way, you realize that makes us the chess team of the fishing world
because we're the nerdiest ones. We are. Checkmate, sir.
But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But anyway, they got their scales out, started weighing them, and I tried to figure out how to walk up and talk to them, but I got nervous, like in high school, when you have to go hang out with the cool kids. You just want to just be part of what they're doing. I got super, super nervous. So I'm like, okay. I got my business card, my wallet. My wife's standing off the side. Just go talk to them. What worst they can say is no. I'm like, I'm not asking them to their prom. I just want to look at their fish. So I walked up, and then there was a guy there. I don't have his card on me. But he goes, I know who you are. You're the guy catching all the fish.
Hey!
And I'm like, finally! I'm the cool
Fame.
I'm the cool kid, still holding the camera, so I'm still like pushing the media cart. But still, so they totally let me take pictures of their fish, and they've been on our Facebook page, hitting the like button and supporting the Fish Nerds, which is great. And I'll do
totally
a whole
great.
write-up on our Fish Nerd page on the whole thing. But, man, what I learned from that was, number one, they're not catching fish that are any bigger than what I could catch. But
very nice.
I've been misjudging the size fish I've been catching for years.
Really?
So if I've ever talked about catching a 5-pound bass,
yes.
it was 3. Because they're pulling these big fish out, and I'm going, that's 5 pounds. They put it on the scale, 3. Wow. This next one's got to be a 5-pounder, 3.5. I'm like, wow.
Well, see, that's why it's no good getting a lot of gear, because then you know.
No, but
But if you don't have scales, you never know.
each one of them had like 6 or 7 fishing rods, all with different lures and stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. It looks like fun, though. Looks like a good time. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, so all the fish are actually smaller than you think. Oh, wow.
Always, always, always. So, that's just the way it goes.
Wow. But cool, though. It's the Northern Bass Supply, which actually one of these days I ought to hit them up for a sponsorship. They're just over in Brentwood, the next town over for where I live. And a lot of the Granite State bassers go in there.
Bronze
And
backers.
yeah. And it's neat because it's just this big kind of warehouse. And you go in and there's a clipboard. There's a pile of clipboards. And you pick up a clipboard and you walk around. You just write the numbers down of the items you want. There's only one of everything up, and it's like every bass lure you'd ever want to see is up on the walls. And they say, do you want a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen, and I think they're just completely geared up for the competitive bass fishermen, because it's insane. I go in and get like one package of weights or something like that.
You barely spend any money at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And they're like, yeah, that's nice.
Well, now that's a sanctioned high school sport in New Hampshire, you'll see more and more out there doing it. So
high school sport.
yeah, and it's the only sport that involves like other species.
There's horse stuff.
Not in high school sports.
Well, it depends what high school you go to.
This is New Hampshire. What do we have? Like we have people playing moose polo. Ooh, they swing their little ball around.
Don't laugh about that. That's moose polo's tough.
It's got to be, because then you got to clear the antlers in order to get your ball where it needs to go. So,
you do, exactly. Then if you get somebody guarding the goal with the big rack, which brings us to another high school story that I have. But never mind.
Another time. Why don't we welcome our new sponsor?
Oh, good
Yeah.
segue.
Thank you. We changed the subject before we talk about too many more racks. We lose all our sponsors. So, hey, we are super excited that we finally have a sponsor.
Super excited.
Ryan Gentry from Thrive Outdoor Products contacted us and asked if he can support our podcast. And we're super happy to say yes to him. And he's not asking for a lot. He really just wants people to support his new business. He's selling outdoor clothing and gear. And the best way to support him and us is to go to facebook.com/Thrive Outdoor Products. Or go to fishnerds.com. We have a link there. Click on that link. It goes right to his Facebook page. Say, hey, Fish Nerd sent us. And then everyone wins. So.
Yes, because that's code these days for instant success. And few people know this is how Bass Pro Shops got started. They
on Facebook?
They came to us, actually.
That's right, Fish Nerds. That's right. Everyone's rich now but us, Dave.
I know. Well, we're all about the giving.
We are about the giving. So, but let's make sure we give lots of Fish Nerd love to Thrive Outdoors Products. Thrive Outdoor Products. They're really nice looking shirts and stuff they're selling. Go on over their Facebook page, say hello, hit the like button, and everyone was happy. Maybe buy a shirt or two.
Oh, it's one of these days he ought to have the Fish Nerds line of clothing.
Oh, I love it. That sounds really.
I want a bib.
A fish nerd bib?
Yeah, you know how people have designer clothes and they have designer jeans and all this. I went the Dave bib, fish nerd's bib.
If you really want to be nerdy, how about like a Dickie?
You'd be an extra large Dickie, thank you very much.
My Fish Nerds Dickie is brought to you by Thrive Outdoor Products. Oh, sorry.
All good stuff. All good stuff.
So, but anyway, hey, welcome to the podcast, and we'll have to have Ryan on, or maybe as a guest next time, and let him pitch his stuff.
Yeah, awesome, great,
Be great. So check it out.
Yeah, that's good. We went fishing a week ago or so.
We did.
It was great. I actually took the day off, took a personal day, which I like. I like the concept of a personal day because, if you take a vacation day, everybody in the office is like, oh, hey, where you going? Oh, it's fun. Or if you take a sick day, they're like, oh, I'm so bad. I'm sorry. Yuck. I'm sorry you're sick. If you take a personal day, nobody asks you nothing.
It's personal.
It's personal.
Sorry. Yep. Got a new Dickie today.
So I took a personal day, and everybody's like, okay, all right, fine, see you. So I took a personal day. I guess it was last week, and we went up to the mighty Silver Lake.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in the last podcast.
And the reason I bring it up is that I haven't fished since then.
Why not?
Well, because I didn't have another personal day.
Oh. My heart was broken from wasting my personal day at Silver Lake.
Right.
Yeah.
But, so, like the evil friend you are, you keep sending me texts during the gorgeous days of fall.
Which, by the way, every day has been gorgeous.
Every stinking day. And I work down in Boston, it's all good, but it's still in the middle of the city. And to get texts from your friend going, hey, I'm out here going, it's last day of salmon fishing. I got a trout, and blah, blah, blah. So, thanks a heap.
Rah, rah, rah.
But the picture you sent me of that trout was awesome.
In New Hampshire, salmon season ends on September 30th. So it's like April or March something until September 30th you can catch salmon.
Rabbit season.
I'm hunting rabbits. Which, by the way, the whole idea that we even have a salmon season is bizarre. I have to ask a biologist about this. The way I understand it is we don't really have habitat for good salmon spawning in the state.
Right.
So all the salmon you're seeing, or most of the salmon you're seeing, are stocked.
Yep, and they all came from Maine, right?
They come from Maine. Well, I don't know if we have any New Hampshire hatcheries doing salmon for rivers, for lakes, but they're all stocked. They're not naturally reproducing. They don't really naturally occur in lakes. It's a weird fishery to begin with because a landlocked salmon's a man-made fish. So we're putting these fish in the lakes, and then we have rules. You can't catch them after this date and between those dates. If the fishing gets really good, it's probably illegal to keep them at that time. The bizarre rules. I don't understand. So in the fall, the salmons run the rivers. Natural urge to spawn. They spawn in November. So right about now is a really good time to get in the water and chase salmon. Only the season's closed. So try to get out there the very last day just to say, I went salmon fishing on September 30th. So I got a tip that the fish were in the river, and a friend of mine, Dan Hode, went down and tried to catch some.
Yeah.
And I got in the river. Dan's fishing. Dan doesn't fish the same as me. Dan likes to fish by himself. A solitary man is quiet.
One of the Marlboro Man kind of guys.
Yeah. So he hikes about 40 yards downstream. He's casting away and not catching anything. I look in the river where I'm standing and I can see 4 fish.
Oh.
So, and I'm a guy who likes to fish close to someone to talk and brag about fish, and I don't believe you can scare fish away by being near them. So.
Right. Dan was just trying to get away from you.
Well, look, I was dropping my kid off at school, and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going fishing," and he got the truck. I mean, it's up to him.
Okay. All right.
We didn't plan it. I was going to go by myself. So he and I were fishing, and he's fishing in the water. I start yelling, "Dad! Dad, there's fish in the water. I can see him. He's like, quiet, you're going to scare him. I'm like, no, they're fish. They don't care. That's a myth. That's something your dad tells you to shut you up. Come on, come see the fish. So sure enough, he's standing right next to me, and in the water, he sees the fish. He's like, wow, cool. So I'm using a tiny panther martin, a little gold spinner with orange and red feathers on the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite names for a lure, by the way.
Panther martin?
Panther martin. Is it a panther? Is it a martin?
What is it? Is it a panther named Martin?
It's a panther martin.
A little gold piece of metal with some feathers on the tail.
It's awesome.
So, threw it out there a few times. I can see the fish turning towards it. I get really excited. I'm screaming, Dan, the fish are turning! The fish are turning! Dan's like, quiet, just catch him. So next cast out, boom, the fish hits. I land it like a pro. I'm so happy. Now Dan's
like a boss.
Like a boss. Now Dan's a professional photographer, so I'm looking at Dan. Where's your camera? He pulls out his smartphone and snaps a picture. I'm like, he owns Wise Guy Photography. And I'm like, Dan, where's your camera? He's like, oh, the phone takes great pictures. And I'm like, all right. So
I think I know why it's called Wise Guy Photography.
so he takes we got like 2 pictures of the fish. So I had the fish. I thought it was hooked really well. I don't have a net with me. So I'm trying to scramble and find my camera. And while I'm doing that, the fish got away. And we got just the one decent picture. Not a great picture.
Not a great picture, but it was good. You could tell it was a big brown trout and really pretty.
It was beautiful. It was the biggest brown trout I've ever caught. And it was stunning. I think it's... And people in New Hampshire are going to get upset with me, and the other 6 states where brook trout are their state fish. I think it's prettier than brook trout.
Oh,
yeah.
Blasphemy.
I know. I'm going to go to New Hampshire hell for that.
Yeah, you will. Which is Lawrence.
That's Massachusetts hell.
I know, but I'm
I thought you
saying.
were going to say Seabrook. Colebrook. So, anyway, so when fish got away, I wasn't going to keep him anyway.
Right.
But hey, Dave.
Hey, Clay.
Do brown trout reproduce in New Hampshire?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And the way I understand it is the water in New Hampshire is very acidic. And so things like rainbow trout and brown trout, their eggs can't handle that level of acidity.
Oh, I thought you meant Hasidic.
No, that's Berlin, New Hampshire, you're thinking of.
That's
not
very
Berlin,
Jewish.
Not Berlin. Shoot. That's...
Is it Whitefield or?
No, it's a town that sounds very Hasidic. What is it? It is...
I was there once.
Bethlehem.
Bethlehem, that's it.
Man, just not in it today. Bethlehem, New Hampshire. So, but no, very acidic. And the way I understood it, I was told this by a fisheries biologist like 20 years ago. Who knows? Was the water so acidic that they just can't reproduce?
Yeah, well, they're originally from Europe, right? Aren't they like German brown trout?
Yeah. So that's what I was told. But I put a picture up on Facebook, and a bunch of guys like, "Oh, I hope you let that one go because that's a breeder." And I didn't want to pick a fight. But I also was in the North Country Angler Fly Shop, and one of the fly guides up there told me he knows for sure of wild rainbow populations and wild brown populations in New Hampshire. So it's possible.
It is, and I usually never say never.
No, I wouldn't say never, but man, it doesn't seem likely. And the argument a lot of people use is, well, it's in the middle of nowhere. You know, I'm like, well, they stock from helicopters.
Exactly, and fish can swim.
You got there.
Yeah, we ought to do a little more research on that because that's something a fish nerd ought to know.
We ought to know. That's why I asked you.
Oh, yeah.
And you've let me down.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. But you missed out on some really good fishing.
Oh, we have to figure out some live satellite feed. So, like, we can plug in right to a GoPro on your head. And then as people are sitting at work, they could just click on a website and see if you're catching anything.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would just... people would never get anything done.
It'd be so fun.
You'd be as big as the baby panda cam.
I'm already as big as Panda. So
people are upset about the panda cam.
They are. They get upset about everything.
They do. And then with the government shutdown, now the panda cam's not working.
It's the government shutdown, and then they're like, then they'll nitpick which services they're more upset about. Oh, the memorials are closed, or the panda cam's not working, or whatever. I mean, like, either open it or don't, but if it's not open, shut up. So, you're right, it's not open because it's closed. I don't know what to tell you. They'll be like, oh, the pizza shop's closed. Yep. I can't get a Coke. No, it's closed. Oh, straw? No, you can't get a straw. Oh. Can I use their bathroom? No, it's closed. It's closed means it's not open, so shut up. So, that's my big political... I'm done. I'm done with politics.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Next on the list.
We have a whole list. It's all me, Dave.
It is all you. Like I said, I've been doing nothing but wishing to be fishing.
Well, on Fridays, I spend fries with my 3-year-old. And I try to teach her to be cool like me.
Oh.
So that involves a little bit of watching TV, maybe some HR puffing stuff in the morning, and then we don't really watch that show. She wouldn't like
Now, all you therapists listening, mark that in your calendar. That in about 10 years or so, maybe a little longer.
We're going to be providing Nick with plenty of work in the future.
Exactly. So, you got a client in the making.
Yeah. So, but I said to Sam this morning, hey, Sam, you want to go trout fishing? And she goes, no. Okay. Do you want to go play in the sand by the river? Yes. Okay. All right, good. Then let's go. So we load the car up with sand toys and fishing rods and my waders. And I have a little knockoff GoPro type camera. It's called a movie camera.
It's called a Go Amateur.
Yeah, Go Amateur. I'm glad for it. MUVI. But it's got an underwater housing and everything. And I decided, all right, I'm going to take this housing, and I have a fishing rod with 12-pound test. I'm going to attach that housing to the 12-pound test, put the camera in it, float that camera under a soda bottle down the river, and take really great pictures of trout. And then I can be one of those guys on the internet that everyone goes, man, you take great pictures. So
perfect plan.
Perfect. And Sam looks at the little camera housing on the string, and she goes, hey, Dad. I say, what? Why don't you catch the fish and then take its picture?
Yeah,
Yeah, shut up. So, she's right. So, I'm like, wow, because this would be so cool. We're doing a science experiment. It'll be fun. Okay, great. Get down to the river, and, I start casting a few lines in the water. I have my waders on, and Sam's playing in the river. She's got her rain boots on, and she takes 2 steps in, and her boots filled with water. And she's stomping around now with boots full of water and having a great time. So, the way 3-year-olds can do. And so then she wants to try fishing. So I let her hold the fishing rod for a while, and I start playing with the camera housing.
Yeah.
I get it all rigged up. I even put a worm under it, hoping maybe the camera will angle down with the worm and the fish attacking the worm, and I'll have that one video that even the fish nerds want on their website. And I cast out a few times. It's working fine. Like watching the camera bounce through the waves and the riffles and stuff. And then I cast out again, and I noticed that the soda bottle's floating free. I'm like, okay, well, that's no big deal. The soda bottle came off. And then I reel in the whole thing, and the camera housing, the waterproof part that holds the camera in, is open, and the camera is gone.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, oh, no. That's not supposed to happen. That's supposed to stay on there. That should be super tight. Like, that should never come off. Those should be, like, bulletproof almost. It looks so cool.
Yeah, and it really has one task.
Yeah, stay closed. That's your job. Don't open. And it opened. It dumped the camera out in the river. So I'm like, all right, I'm never going to fight. It's a black camera. The bottom of the river's kind of black colored with the way the clouds were today. So I walk out to where I casted, and sure enough, the water's crystal clear. I can see it.
Oh.
I'm at the very tip of my chest waders, like 5 feet. Like I can't go one more inch deep without going past my waders. But I'm standing there, and I can see this thing on the bottom of the river. And I'm like, all right, what do I do? If I leave this spot, odds of me finding the same spot, slim to none.
Right.
Thing's black. I'm going to stir the bottom up. It's going to be a goner forever. It's probably a goner anyway, but maybe I can put it in a bowl of rice and save it. So I'm like, all right. I tighten up the belt of my waders as tight as it can go. I hold my breath, and I dive in with my waders on, and I got my hand on it. And I can hear and feel water rushing into my waders. So I go up, I come up out of the water, I'm like, whoa! And And I'm yelling, and I come sloshing to the beach. I'm like Sam with her big boots on full of water, but my waders are full of water. I'm dumping the water out of my clothes and kind of laying on the ground sideways to get the water out. And Sam goes, Dad, you're silly. I'm like, you're bait. And I wanted to throw her in, but so I decided fishing there was no good. Not going to work for it. But Sam wanted to catch trout for dinner. I'll get to that story in a minute. So we drove to my favorite trout pond in my neighborhood. Yeah. And Sam caught 2 trout all by herself.
Ah, sweet.
Right in a row. His little pond's so good. Every time the line goes in the water, a trout come out. So
perfect.
They were little trout. But so she put them in her bucket, and they're gasping for air. Mm-hmm. And Sam's talking to the fish, and I hear her say to the fish, "It's okay if you can't breathe, because you'll be dead soon, and we're going to eat you." She's trying to make him feel better.
She's like a Bond villain.
So she's right.
Okay, you'll be dead soon.
Soon you'll be dead.
I expect you to die.
So, but hey, here's what we did. My friend Gary gave us some moose sausage.
Oh, moose sausage.
Yeah, from real fresh stuff from Roadkill 2 days ago. So
wait, a roadkill moose?
Roadkill moose 2 days ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he texted me when he goes, "Hey, I got a roadkill," and so I went, "All right." And I went over to his house, and he was grinding and eating a sausage. He goes, "Here, have a pound of sausage." He gave me some roadkill sausage, and so
well, ammunition's hard to come by now.
It's cheaper to hit him with your truck.
Cheaper to hit him with your truck, yeah.
And it wasn't his truck, so
yeah.
What difference to make? So we decided tonight to make a real local food for dinner tonight. Great. So we had maple syrup that we made ourselves.
Oh yeah, every year you make maple syrup, right?
We had roadkill sausage. We had apples that we picked in New Hampshire last week.
Oh, fun!
And we had brook trout.
Oh, that died recently at the hands of your daughter.
Yeah, exactly. So we had all this great local food. I made some pizza crust by hand from scratch, and we made New Hampshire special pizza, which is maple moose, roadkill sausage, apple, and brook trout pizza. Whew, man. And let me just tell you, I'll put the recipe up on our Fish Nerds page when I get done writing it.
Yeah.
Wow. Really good.
Really good.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I really liked it. I'm not sure I could taste the trout very much, but it was good.
Wow.
But the maple sausage,
Now, so if Pizza Hut ran that, would it be a moose lover's pizza or a moose hater's pizza?
Well, moose lovers, because that moose was killed by a truck.
Oh, right. And it actually could have been a depressed moose.
Maybe it was depressed.
And just walked out in front of a truck.
Oh. I have a picture of the moose right after it got hit.
Yeah?
There wasn't much you could do with it but make sausage.
Oh.
I'll put a picture up. I think I may have already shared it, but it's awful. It looks terrible.
Insta sausage.
Insta sauce. Boom! Hamburger! Hey, Rocky! Hokey smokes, Bullwinkle! That trick never works!
Mr. Know-It-All. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. But I highly recommend it, But it was kind of fun to put together a local meal, and Sam really got into it. Like, we cooked the fish whole, and then she had to pull the meat off the bone. She's like, "Dad, can we eat the eyeballs?" I said, "Go for it." And she goes, "No, I want you to." I did not eat the eyeballs.
Oh, man. I tell you, Bond villain, you're raising a little Bond villain.
I am. Yeah, I am. Now, my older kid is not home. My older kid's very empathetic. And so she would not have gone for this.
Really?
She will not eat moose. She won't eat the fish. She won't let me kill the fish. Like, she gets upset when you pick a plant, like you pick a flower that's made to be eaten. She goes, "Oh, that flower I grew myself. It was such a nice flower, my favorite flower." Sam would be like, "All right, let's kill it." Is it dead yet? No? All right, I'll make it dead.
Don't worry that you can't breathe.
If she had laughed maniacally after that, I would have just left her there. See you, kid. You're going to be just fine. Yeah. Kinda.
Wow. Wow, very good.
Good times.
Oh, man. Whew.
All right.
This podcast is going long. We don't have time for much more.
We can get it all in.
You think?
Well, let's go fast.
All right. Kickstarter program not started. Next one.
Okay, check. Pay attention, because soon we're going to ask you for money to help fund our book.
Yes.
So basically, we'll be asking you to pre-buy the book so we can get it published.
Yeah.
So easy.
Easy.
Open your wallet, give us money, we're happy.
Yep. Nick's on the list again. Nick Hudson Swagger. Am I saying his last name right?
I don't know. I've never said it out loud.
You're marching. You run with his wife?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah. Emmy and she's my running partner. So
nice.
Yeah. So every other day we run.
Nice.
And running for me is really a relative term. So it looks like running if you blink fast or if you speed up the tape, but it's really a slow motion game. That's barely running.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a lot more than I do, so that's very good.
That's right. So
yeah.
There you go.
And my daughter just came into the podcasting room.
Hello.
Hey, Soph, how are you? She gave me a glass of water.
Wow.
Very nice. She's gone now.
No beer, just water, huh?
No, just water.
Teach that kid.
Anyway, So anyway, Nick, thanks again for sound engineering. Awesome.
It's great, yeah. So, live Fish Nerds event coming soon.
Yes.
Coming soon. The Conway Public Library has asked the Fish Nerds for an evening of fish talk.
Oh, wow.
So, I'll be going in there on the 21st at 6 p.m. It'll be free. It will include video and audio and lots of Takio. So, it'll be fun. Hopefully, everyone who shows up has a lot of questions because I'd much rather have a conversation than talk for an hour. So, we'll have more information as that gets closer to the event.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be good. It's close to Halloween. We have to come up with a Halloween-themed fishy thing.
Mommy John!
That takes us to Fish in the News.
Fish in the News!
This week in Fish in the News, we got a couple of good ones, a couple of gems. Mm-hmm. This one, the title is Scientists Scare Drunk Fish with Robots. So the first part of this is, in movies, robots often inspire fear. And in the lab, they can be used to frighten live animals to test behavioral changes. Scientists at NYU Poly are using robots in order to test how the presence of alcohol affects the behavior of zebrafish.
Love it. So first they get the fish drunk, and then they scare them. So to control this experiment, first of all, you have to determine, are they already afraid of robots? And then the other controllers, you need to determine how do they behave when they're drunk. So you have to do two pre-experiments before the actual experiment. Then you get the fish drunk, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then you bring in the robots. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? And it sounds.
Who thought of this? Some kid in his dorm at NYU, like, hey guys.
Oh man, I got this idea.
What if we got fish drunk? Come on.
Robots.
Oh my god.
So, apparently zebrafish have similar emotional responses to stimuli as more intelligent animals. Scientists could test how certain elements in the environment can cause certain behaviors. So, I assume zebrafish have little pants to shit. Because if you're drunk and you see a robot come by.
Oh my gosh. So they have to experiment on people to see what their responses were to robots. This experiment keeps getting more and more in depth. This is no high school experiment.
No.
No.
You imagine the grad students like, hey, man, are zebrafish like us, man? I don't know.
Let's go to alpha, beta fish and
Oh, nice.
thank you. And go scare the jocks for a while. Okay, put on your robot suit and let's measure the reaction speed. Okay, let's go.
Oh, my gosh. So fish, should I keep on reading this?
Yeah, oh, please, yeah.
Fish
I got to know the outcome.
Fish have previously shown that they are attracted to robots that are designed to look, act, and swim like them. So scientists decided that they would be good candidates for this
like
new
in Bugs
study.
Bunny, where they dress up Bugs as a pretty...
Yes, I think so.
They're attracted to the robot. They've already proven that fish are attracted to shiny robots that look like them.
So the purpose of the experiment was to determine how fear is affected by the presence of ethanol, alcohol, which is a type of alcohol found in alcoholic beverages. The writer of this was very thorough.
He was having a good time.
Instead of creating robots that the fish would relate to, the scientists created a robot that resembled a predator of the zebrafish, the Indian leaf fish. So the Indian leaf fish is the natural predator of the zebrafish.
Okay.
In an aquarium with 3 compartments, the scientists placed zebrafish in one compartment, the robot in a second, and left the third compartment empty. As expected, the fish in this control group naturally did what they could to avoid the fake predator, and seemed to prefer the empty part of the tank.
Of course. And then what?
After recording their findings, the scientists took separate groups of zebrafish and added alcohol to the water. To continue their test, to continue to test their theory, the scientists then put a group of zebrafish into the tank with 2 compartments, one with good lighting and one that was dark. Wait, what happened to the drunk fish? Anyway, in a different tank, the scientists created a mock heron attacking from above.
That's not a controlled experiment.
I don't get it. As expected, the group of zebrafish not exposed to alcohol avoided the dark and swam away from the heron. However, the fish exposed to alcohol seemed to prefer the dark and had a slow response to the attack.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's because they were dead.
It's because they're dead. It's because they're drunk and they're like, hey, baby, it's kind of dark in that corner over there. Let's, what do you say? She's like, well, I've had a few ethanols. Let's go. Glub, 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 and they head on over. It's dumb. It's a dumb experiment, and they lack the control. Everything needs to be the same in an experiment except for the one variable you're testing.
Yeah.
This is the science teacher in me. You can't change multiple variables and call it an outcome. It doesn't make any sense. If you're going to test with a heron, test with a heron every time. If you're going to test with a robot fish, use a robot fish every time. This is high school.
Added stuff.
Come on. College guys can't do this.
So the last paragraph is, while it doesn't seem necessary to frighten fish to discover that alcohol affects their behavior, scientists believe these findings, along with the use of robots, can be used to better understand animal behavior.
I don't know.
As well as aid in animal protection.
And now you got these fish sitting in a circle every night talking about how they, it's been almost 3 days since my last ethanol. Last time I had ethanol, a big shadow of a heron came over the tank, and I wasn't scared. I could have been eaten. Luckily, it was a robot. But now, whenever I see robots, I'm scared. I wasn't scared of robots before, but now I can't take it.
I don't know.
Oh,
it sounds fishy to me. I don't know who did that study, but
let's move on past it. It's a terrible study.
Yeah, terrible study.
Oh, he was probably federally funded this week. Like, hey, no one's watching. Let's get fish drunk. Feds are closed.
It'll be awesome.
Awesome. Dad's sleeping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wow. Any more fish news? Got anything better?
Well, we do have the Pacu saga continues.
Oh, man, we have Pacu news every week.
Every week for the last 3 weeks, I think.
Who's reporting this time?
So this time from Washington State,
of course.
The Huffington Post ran a story, and the title is Pacu-mageddon.
Pacu-mageddon.
Large.
That means there's so many Pacu coming now. Everyone Get on a cup before you go swimming.
Pakumageddon, large testicle-eating fish surfaces in Washington State.
It never ends.
Never ends.
There's not one reporter who actually looked up to see, does this actually happen?
Right.
We no longer need evidence anymore when we report stories. Hey, editor. Hey, boss. Do we need any evidence to run the Paku nut eater?
No, go with it.
No, that was a good one. Run it. Of course it's true. Everyone knows it. It's common sense. Thanks, boss.
This one was
lies.
This one was a 17-inch fish out of Washington.
So we got people bragging about things being larger now when dealing with that part of your body.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess Washington is bigger.
Paku is big fish.
So yeah, it's basically, they're trying to work any way they could get in a Paku story in the news. So
God, who would do that? It's so nerdy to every week when I talk about nuts. It's
crazy.
Really, what a gimmick.
What a gimmick. So now
that was the Huffington Post reported that?
Huffington Post reported
That's two in a week, the Huff Post did on Paku. Wow.
I know, go figure. So Holmes, this is the last paragraph of this article. The official said the dumping of exotic fish like the Paku has been such a problem that Washington Fish and Wildlife Department is having the Marysville Paku, that's the fish that was caught, mounted as an educational tool to teach residents about the dangers of invasive fish in the area.
Wow.
So they mounted the testicle-eating fish to take and show and scare kids.
I'm just trying to imagine what the mount looks like now, Just
I can just see the taxidermist go, you want me to do what with this?
You want me to put what and where? No. It just seems bad.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Ah, man. It's all lies. By the way, if you have any evidence of a Paku who likes to crunch on nuts of the human sort, please email a photo to us at nuts@fishnerds.com. That's nuts@fishnerds.com. We need evidence. Unlike the Huffington Post and CNN and Fox, we actually would like to see evidence of this happening, because I am telling you, it's never happened in the history of fish. Ever. It's a good story. Good story.
Never happened.
I know what my Halloween costume's going to be, but it's never happened.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
I'm going to be a Paku protected swimmer. You should see my armored Speedos.
Awesome.
Never happened.
Never happened. That I actually have to wrap up the podcast for my end because the battery on my laptop's running out.
Well, hey, let's thank our sponsor again, Thrive Outdoor Products. Please go to their Facebook page. Go to our website, fishnerds.com. Click on Thrive Outdoor Products and hit the like button. Tell Ryan the Fish Nerds sent you, and he will be so happy that he sponsored us.
Yay!
So, yay! And thanks again to Nick for keeping our podcast sounding good. We really appreciate it. And if you'd like to support the Fish Nerds, please like our Facebook page. Go to iTunes, subscribe to our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, leave us a nice little comment, and we will be super happy. So,
all right, very good. So that's the end of another one.
Wow, in the bag.
Put a fork in it. It's done.
Stick a fork in it, Dave Kellum. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right.